hits out this side, and he and Adam and Pavetta combine on a one-hit shutout as the Padre pitchers face the minimum, sweep the Braves, and start 4-0 for just the second time in franchise history.
What a opening weekend for the San Diego Padres as they beat the Atlanta Braves in this series finale. The final score, the Padres 5 and the Braves nothing. Padres sweep this 4-game series. As Jesse alluded to, the Padres 4-0 to begin a season for just the second time in franchise history. The only other time it's been done in franchise history, the year 1984. And as we know, the Padres won the National League pennant in 84. So a very, very, very good start to the 2025 season for the San Diego Padres. Final totals here today, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. And for Atlanta, no runs on 1 hit and no errors. Nick Pavetta, the main story here today. He was sensational in his Padres debut. 7 shutout innings, 1 hit given up, walked nobody, struck out 4. Very economical as well on 82 pitches. And then the bullpen did the rest. Jason Adam, a scoreless 8th inning. Jeremiah Estrada, a scoreless 9th inning. And the Padres are 4-0 for just the second time in franchise history. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up on this Sunday. Welcome into the Jamul Casino Resort post-game show. Hey, player, when it comes to giving you what you want, Jamul Casino Resort isn't playing around. It's way more than a place to game. It's a place where you can stay and play in every possible way. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Offensively today for the Padres, really, really impressive as well. They did much of what we saw the first 3 games. Maybe not so much in yesterday's game where it was just a 1-0 game, but today, again, we saw the Padres score early. We saw them add on. We saw them string hits together. They had 4 RBI doubles in this game, an RBI single to cap the 8th inning from Fernando Tatis Jr., but all in all, the Padres very much capitalizing with runners in scoring position, 4 hits with runners in scoring position in this game. And you zoom out and look at this weekend as a whole, you just have to love what the Padres were, the way they played, the way they fought, and how they won these games. They were all a little bit different, especially the last couple of days. Yesterday, so well pitched by Randy Vasquez and the Padres bullpen, a bullpen now that has thrown 15 consecutive scoreless innings going back to opening day. Gave up a run in the 4th inning, Alec Jacob, and since then it has been 15 consecutive scoreless innings for the bullpen. Yesterday, timely hitting the pinch hit RBI single by Yuli Gurriel. And then here today, what more can you say about Nick Pavetta in his Padres debut? Just absolutely terrific, and the offense backed him up in a major way as well. So the Padres season has started as well as you could have imagined, no doubt about that. And you consider a couple of things when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. Number one, this is a Braves team. Even though they are 0-4 to begin the year, this is a Braves team that is going to win a lot of games and I'm sure compete for an NL East title. They are a very good team. They're not quite at full strength, but I'm sure they're going to win a lot of games this year. And also consider this. The Braves may be a team at the end of the year that you're competing with for a wild card spot. And we often talk about tiebreakers and things like that. And yes, it is late March. I'm not getting, way ahead of myself here. But when you play series against these types of teams, you do want to find ways to win the season series. And the Padres have now swept the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game series to begin the year. So really, in every respect, just a very, very good opening weekend for the San Diego Padres, and on top of it, 4 consecutive sellouts here at Petco Park. So the fans brought it, the Padres brought it, and just a weekend full of smiles here in downtown San Diego. Jackson Merrill had a great opening weekend. He finishes hitting .462 in this opening series, had another RBI double in this game here today. I caught up with Jackson on the field just moments ago.
Jackson, let's start with Nick Pavetta. What a Padres debut. You had a great vantage point of it in center. How'd Nick look to you?
He was locked in. He wasn't afraid of anybody. Going right at hitters. He wasn't scared. He wanted to throw that thing in there. He wanted to go as hard as possible, so I love it.
4 wins to begin the season, 4-0 for the first time since 1984. What was the key to sweeping the Braves this weekend?
I think last year, it just took us a little bit to get going. We wanted to hit the ground running this year. I don't think we had to sweep until June, and to come out and get that number 1 around the first week, it feels special.
For you offensively, a bunch of hits, 5 RBIs. How would you characterize what you did offensively this weekend?
Just playing my game. I'm playing to help the team, trying to get on base as much as possible. When it comes to time to show power, I'm trying to show power, but all around, good team win this weekend.
Today, another good example. Offensively, you move the line, you string hits together. What do you feel like you guys did well as a group offensively?
You watch our ABs, they're gritty, man. They're not really short. We want to get in there. Sometimes I swing early. That's just me. It's my approach. But the whole team's in there grinding out ABs, trying to get as many pitches on as possible. You see the starter gets out early in the game. We get to the bullpen. That's what we're trying to do.
You have a lot of fun playing in front of these fans again?
Oh, yeah. So fortunate, So fortunate.
Jackson, great job this weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you.
Jackson Merrill, how can you not love him? The 21-year-old continues to shine and certainly had a great opening weekend to his sophomore season. When we come back, we have all the radio highlights for you. We'll recap this game from start to finish. We'll also hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit as well. Stick with us. We're just getting started. Another very, very happy recap as the Padres beat the Atlanta Braves 5-0 in this series finale. The Padres sweep the Braves in a 4-game set to begin the season, and the Padres are 4-0 to begin a season for just the second time in franchise history, the first time since 1984. Our post-game coverage continues when we return right here on the Padres Radio Network. Back here at Petco Park, the final score, the Padres 5 and the Atlanta Braves nothing, as the Padres sweep a 4-game set from the Braves. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building. Welcome back into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show on the Padres Radio Network. A lot to do. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a matter of minutes. We have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game, our catch of the game, plus we'll get to your phone calls and your social media messages messages a little bit later on. I'm sure there are a lot of fired up Padres fans out there. You couldn't have scripted a much better start to the 2025 season. Let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Right-hander Nick Pavetta making his Padres debut today on a beautiful Sunday. He had a perfect top of the first inning. The Padres then got to work in the bottom half against Braves righty A.J. Smith-Shawver. Fernando Tatis Jr. led off with a check swing double down the right field line. He was still on second for Manny Machado.
Here's the 1-0. And he swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. Kelnick's going back. He turns around to watch. It's off the base of the wall. Tatis scores. Machado's on his way to second. Here's the throw in the tag. Not in time. RBI double off the fence for Manny. And the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Pavetta then pitched a 1-2-3 second. He worked around a leadoff single in the top of the third. In the bottom half, there were 2 outs and nobody on, but then Jake Cronenworth walked. Xander Bogaerts was next.
Xander Bogaerts' first pitch swinging, lines one down the left field line, a fair ball. Gonna roll to the corner. Cronenworth being waved at third base by Tim Leeper. He's on his way. No relay to the plate. An RBI double for Xander Bogaerts, and the Padre lead is 2-0.
So a 2-0 Padres lead early. Nick Pavetta, meanwhile, continued to roll. A 1-2-3 fourth, the same in the fifth. He again retired the side in order in the sixth inning. 6 scoreless innings on 74 pitches for Nick Pavetta. Meanwhile, after Smith-Shawver gave up 2 runs in 4 innings, Braves reliever Jose Suarez came on and pitched scoreless frames in the 5th and 6th. Pavetta pitched the 1-2-3 top of the 7th. He was done after 7 scoreless innings on 82 pitches. He allowed just 1 hit and retired the final 13 batters he faced. No way around it. Nick Pavetta was masterful in his Padre debut. You couldn't have scripted it any better. What an outing for Nick Pavetta. In the bottom half of the inning, Fernando Tatis Jr. drew a leadoff walk against Suarez. He was still on first base with 2 men away for Jackson Merrill.
Here's the 2-0. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Pretty well struck. Profar back to the gap. Not going to get there. Looks up, bangs off the wall. Fernando rounding third. He's going to come in and score. Jackson Merrill has provided some insurance. An RBI double in the 7th, and the Padres lead it 3-0.
A 3-0 Padres lead. Merrill's 5th RBI of the weekend. Absolutely terrific stuff from Jackson Merrill in his first series of the year. We go on to the 8th inning. Padres a 3-0 lead. Jason Adam pitched the scoreless 8th inning. Then in the bottom half of the 8th inning, Xander Bogaerts walked to begin the inning against Hector Neris. Bogaerts stole second. With 1 out and Bogaerts still on second, it was Brandon Lockridge at the plate.
There is set in ready. Another 1-2. Lockridge hits it in the air down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Gonna bounce and roll into the corner. Kelnick's got to go and get it. Bogaerts has scored. It's another RBI double as Lockridge makes it 4-0 here in the 8th.
The speedy Lockridge then stole third base. He was still 90 feet away from scoring. Fernando Tatis Jr. at the plate with 2 men away.
1-1 to Tatis, lined over Riley. Got a piece of it, but it trickles behind him into left field. Lockridge has scored. Fernando going to try for 2. They throw there, and he's tagged out. Tatis signaling that he wants a challenge at second base. It is, though, an RBI hit, and the Padre lead will be 5-0.
Padres would not challenge. Fernando would finish the weekend hitting .467 to begin the year. On to the top of the 9th inning, Jeremiah Estrada came on, working with a sizable 5-0 lead. He struck out Orlando Arcia. He struck out Jared Kelnick. The game was left up to Atlanta pinch hitter Brian De La Cruz.
Now the 1-2. De La Cruz swings and misses. Strike 3. 98 from Estrada, who strikes out the side. And he and Adam and Pavetta combine on a 1-hit shutout as the Padre pitchers face the minimum, sweep the Braves, and start 4-0 for just the second time in franchise history.
A 1-hit shutout indeed. It was the work of Pavetta and Adam. And then Estrada. Pavetta 7 shutout innings to lead the way. The Padres now 4-0 for the first time since 1984, the second time in franchise history, as Jesse alluded to, they've ever began a season 4-0. Final totals here today for the Padres: 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. For Atlanta, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Winning pitcher was Nick Pavetta. Losing pitcher was A.J. Smith-Shawver. Let's go downstairs here at Petco Park, and here's some post-game reaction from the Padres skipper.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Mike, Nick seemed to throw like every pitch that he needed to all game. What'd you think?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, Nick really, welcome to San Diego, Nick Pavetta, right? I mean, dominated counts, life on his heater, really, really good curveball. Sweeper was good, 2-seamer, 9 ground balls, 4 punch outs. You know, ground balls early. Like I said, he controlled counts, got some early outs, which allowed him to go, you know, a 7-inning. Really masterful game from Nick in his debut with the Padres.
What do you think of the way that during this series you guys created opportunities, especially today, you created a lot of opportunities and manufactured runs?
Yeah, you know, we're gonna win a lot of different ways. Some nights it's gonna be the bigger things, but almost always the little things lead to the bigger things. And you know, it was on display tonight. Our leadoff hitter really set the tone. I mean, just a complete game from Toddy. I love the at-bats. I also love the patience. You know, he's an aggressive player. Never want to take the aggression away, but he's staying within himself. The 2 walks, just you know, fantastic at bats at the top of the lineup. So it's a real presence for somebody has to face to start the game.
What do you like about the way Nick kind of carries himself and competes on the mound?
You know, Nick's into it, man. Nick's getting after it. So I appreciate all guys that compete, and everybody competes in their own way, but I just love consistent competition and guys that are up for it. And he clearly is looking to go get it. And but I loved he was able to harness it and make his pitches and use it and channel it the right way.
You guys have turned a couple unorthodox double plays the last couple of days. Can you go into the mechanics of the way you saw this one unfold?
Yeah, you know what? It's a high baseball IQ group. You know, it's a group that is always on point and looking to make plays. One of the things that I appreciate about the group is the pre-pitch communication, the pre-pitch awareness, which sets everybody up. I thought we were on time defensively the whole series. We anticipated what was going to happen. So we prepare for the black and the white, and then the gray kind of happens when plays develop. And, you know, it was a really, really good and big play, you know, in the 8th there. Got a comebacker off Jason Manning, makes another spectacular play under control. And now we've got a situation where Bogey's looking to make sure we're covering third base to cover his teammate. Louis looks up instead of just being happy, hey, we got an out. He's looking to make a play. Crony's on point for the throw behind, and boom, here we go, double play. Just high baseball IQ guys making winning plays.
Mike, the pitching staff as a whole was incredible the whole series, 22 consecutive scoreless innings. The bullpen had about 16 innings, only giving up 1 run. How impressive is that, especially against a team like the Braves that really grinds out their at-bats?
Yeah, very impressive. You know, it's a good ball club over there. And, again, contributions from everyone, literally everyone pretty much. Starting pitching did a good job. Bullpen did a great job the first 2 games. Bullpen did a great job all 4 games. But the first 2 games, man, they really picked us up and were able to get big innings and, you know, get out to the end of games the last 2 nights. But we got great starting pitching the last 2 days from Vasquez and Pavetta. And also, let's don't minimize the catching responsibility to this. You know, preparation was good, in sync, communication as the series went with our pitching staff and our catchers and Ruben and the pitching group who do a great job. But, you know, Diaz was really good today. Another shutout. And so it was, you know, team effort.
To start the season 4-0, but more importantly, some really clean baseball. Is this as good as you've hoped in terms of like continuity and what you've been trying to build with growing on last year?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for, Annie. I'm looking for just good, clean, crisp baseball. You know, be ready for any all circumstance. Control counts, works off the pitch, and have an idea what we're looking to do. You know, in a sequencing standpoint, from a pitching standpoint, be in the right spots defensively, be on time, and be ready to anticipate plays. And then to Ace's question initially, you know, how we beat the other team is a lot of different ways offensively. And on display tonight, love Bogey's at bat. You know, we added on lock with the stolen base. I like to rise about the first inning. You're talking about, Cotty gets on, boom, he's at second base. Arise, who took good at bats tonight, gets him over. Manny's got the right approach, drives the ball, ends up being a double. Just a lot of good baseball. So, Merrill going the other way for the 2-out base hit to add on, and then of course, later on we get the Toddy gets the RBI, 2 outs to add on and set their bullpen up.
Mike, you guys, what worked on the base paths tonight, and is that kind of the aggressiveness that you guys want to play with?
Yeah, we're going to consistently look to be smart but be aggressive. We're going to be on point and be ready to go, and similar with our defense, we're going to look at like an offensive machine. The homers are great. That's one way to get home from home. But we start at home. We want to figure out a way once we get on base to get back home. That's how we win games, by scoring those runs. So it takes a team effort, a lot of collaboration. Our guys are on point.
It does seem like Arise has had quite a few good at bats. If there has ever been a player you've had that you're not concerned about an 0-for-13 start, I imagine it would be Louis.
Oh, yeah, I got zero concern about Louis. I mean, Louis could hit every inning. I'd be super tickled. Does team at bat, gets him over, gets the ball right on the nose with the bases loaded, right to center fielder Harrison. No, Louis is a 3-time batting champion. Louis is going to be just fine.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 5-0 win for the Padres against the Atlanta Braves. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. And we'll get a little bit deeper into all of what Mike Shildt had to discuss there on the other side of our next break. But you heard a question there just about the quality of baseball, that it was a very clean brand of baseball the Padres played this weekend and in this opening series. And if you just look at a few numbers, it really tells the story of this series. Number one, the Padres took advantage when there were runners in scoring position in the first 4 games of this season. 32 at-bats over the last 4 days, a .313 average with runners in scoring position, including today where they had 4 hits with runners in scoring position and a ton of opportunities. We talked about it the last 3 days. The Padres offensively have looked very, very similar to what they were last year when they led Major League Baseball in batting average, where they struck out as few times as any offense in the majors. They're just putting together quality at-bats and stringing hits together and capitalizing with runners in scoring position. So the situational hitting this weekend was really, really good. The bullpen, what more can you say about them? Today, they were working with a 3-0 lead, so a little bit of breathing room. But you look at the work of this pen so far this season, not only is it 15 consecutive scoreless innings, just as a whole, 16 innings, 1 run given up. That's it. Alec Jacob gave up a run in the 4th inning on opening day, and since then, the Padres bullpen has allowed nothing. They have been tremendous. Today, had more wiggle room to work with, but still, nonetheless, a great job by Adam and Estrada today out of the pen. The other thing, when you talk about the brand of baseball the Padres played in the first series of the year, 1 error. And it was on kind of a weird play in the 9th inning with Xander Bogaerts, where he just made a bad throw on a very routine ground ball. But 1 error. No defense that really cost them. In fact, they made a number of not only physically impressive defensive plays, but really smart defensive plays. Whether you want to talk about the double play that Jay Cronenworth started yesterday that went 4-5-6, or the double play today in the 8th inning, the 1-5-3-4 where it hits Adam, ricochets to Manny, throw to first, and then Luis Arise very, adeptly, very smartly looks at second base, throws behind Marcelo Zuna, and gets him at second base. I mean, just a really heads-up play. That's smart defensive baseball, and there were a number of different examples of that over the course of the last 4 days. So all in all, just a really good opening weekend, a great opening weekend. The way they hit, the way they play defense, the way their bullpen pitched, and then you throw on top of it, and we'll get a little bit deeper into Nick Pavetta's outing on the other side of our break. You throw on top of it the fact that the last 2 days after getting shaky starts from King and Cease on Thursday and Friday, Randy Vasquez throws 6 scoreless innings yesterday, dances out of trouble a number of times, and then Nick Pavetta, he didn't have to dance out of trouble really at all. 7 shutout innings, 1 hit given up, walk nobody. As good of a Padre debut as you could have imagined. So they get great starting pitching the final 2 games of this series. And no surprise with all that, you put it all into one pie, you put it in the oven, and it comes out a 4-0 start for the Padres here in 2025. When we return, we'll get to our catch of the game. We'll have our play of the game coming up a little bit later as well. And as always, here on our post-game coverage, we want to hear from you. Phone number to call. I'm sure there are a lot of happy Padres fans out there, a lot of fired up fans out there. Phone number, 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number to call if you want to chime in on this Sunday, 833-288-0973. You can also get involved on social media. You can find me on X at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. Instagram DMs open as well, Sammy Lev there too. You can comment on YouTube. Hello to everybody watching on YouTube right now. And I may just address your comment or your question live here on the air. Final score on this Sunday, Padres 5 and the Braves nothing. Our postgame coverage continues. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this. Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres win it 5-0 over the Atlanta Braves. A big day for the offense. 9 hits. They had 4 RBI doubles in this game. But the main story, right-hander Nick Pavetta, who was absolutely stellar in his Padres debut. You could have not imagined a better start for Pavetta in his debut at Petco Park. His 2025 debut, 7 shutout innings, giving up just 1 hit, walking nobody, and striking out 4. And we'll have more on Pavetta coming up in just a little bit. Again, the phone number to call, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. The phone number to call if you want to get involved. And again, you can also find me on X at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. Instagram DM's open as well. There too, same handle. And you can let me know your comment, your question about today's game, about this series, about this sweep, whatever you want to say. We may just get to it here on the air. In our last segment, I talked about how good the defense was for the most part for the Padres this weekend. Not only how good it was, but the number of really heads-up, smart defensive plays the Padres had. It was clean baseball, but it was also very smart baseball. And another smart play happened in the 8th inning. Padres working with, at that point, what was a 3-0 lead. Jason Adam on the mound, a runner on first base, 1 out. Michael Harris the second at the plate, and this was today's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
Ground ball up the middle, kicks off Adam, rolls to Manny, goes to the bare hand, throw to first is in time. Now a throw back to second, and they got him! Ozuna took too wide of a turn, thinking third base was unoccupied, and Manny Machado was all over it. Threw behind him at second base, and I think it was Arise, the first baseman, who ended up tagging him out. What a double play to end the top of the 8th inning.
What a double play indeed. Great, great job. It went 1, 5, 3 to 4, the double play. Just a tremendous job on the infield after the ricochet off Adam. Manny made a great play just to get the ball to first base and pick it cleanly. And then Arise really heads up through to Cronenworth at second base to secure a double play and get Jason Adam out of that top of the 8th inning. And again, at that point in the game, it was only a 3-0 game. So not like this game was over by any means. And hey, look at that inning. It would have been Ozuna on second with Orlando Arcia at the plate. One more base runner gets on. The tying run steps in to the batter's box. So big double play there for the Padres in the 8th inning, and more very smart defensive baseball. Military Sunday on the Padres Radio Network is presented by your San Diego Toyota Dealers Association. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care no-cost maintenance standard, so you get peace of mind standard. Well, we talked plenty about Nick Pavetta and what he did in this outing, 7 shutout innings. But it wasn't only just a great way to start the year. For context, it was the first time in Nick Pavetta's career where he threw 7 shutout innings, allowed 1 or fewer hits without giving up a walk. Again, first time in his career where he threw 7 shutout innings, gave up 1 or fewer hits, and did not issue a walk. So you really look at it, I mean, I think when you read that, it's safe to say that may have been one of the finer outings of Pavetta's career. And quite frankly, 7 scoreless innings, 1 hit, no walks. I mean, that's going to be one of the better outings of your season, of your career. And the fact that it comes in his Padres debut, I think, is so tremendously exciting. You know, we talked about it at the time of the signing. You felt like one of the reasons the Padres signed Nick Pavetta was not only because he's been a very solid starting pitcher in the major leagues for a long time, but also you felt like there was upside, that the Padres saw upside in Pavetta, saw somebody that they could bring in the building, work with Ruben Niebla, work with, and that they could make him even better. You really felt like that was part of the equation with signing Pavetta. And the fact that he shows up today after what was a very productive spring training, a good spring training by all accounts, the fact that he shows up today and has that kind of outing and throws strikes the way he did, just tremendously encouraging. And what you like about it, really mixed his pitches nicely. He was 54% four-seam fastball, 28% curve, 15% sweeper, threw the cutter a handful of times, but mixed it up really nicely, had a good Atlanta lineup off balance. And that is part of it when you look at what the Padres did to this Braves lineup over the course of this weekend. I mean, this is an Atlanta team, and I said it in the opening segment, that is going to win a lot of games, that I'm sure is going to be right in the mix for a postseason spot, whether it be the NL East, whether it be a wild card spot when, September rolls around. The fact that the Padres shut them out back-to-back days, the fact that they were so good against them when the Braves had runners in scoring position, it just speaks volumes to how well, as a whole, the Padres pitched and the way they played over the course of this weekend. The Braves did not have a runner in scoring position in this game. So think about that. They had a runner on first base, and that was it. They faced only the minimum 27 batters because the only time the Braves had base runners on, a single in the third, and then the walk in the 8th inning by Jason Adam, there were double plays in those innings. So the Padres only faced the minimum as far as Braves batters, and the Braves went a combined 1 for 22 in this series with runners in scoring position. So when they got guys on, Padres pitching did an excellent job at working out of trouble. Just great work by the Padres pen and great work by the Padres all weekend long, really in all facets of the game. When we come back, we'll have our out-of-town scoreboard, continue to break this one down. We do have plenty of callers on the line, so if you're waiting on hold, stay on hold for a little bit longer. Phone number to call, 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. We'll get to your phone calls right when we come back. Final score, Padres 5, Braves nothing. This is the Padres Radio Network.
Hey, Samuel, brother, how are you doing? Greetings from Oakland. Glad to be the first.
Doing great. You lead it off.
Hey, I'd love to say I'm a long-time listener and first-time caller, but truth be told, first-time listener, first-time caller.
Okay.
As a lifelong
welcome
Oakland Athletics fan, new Padres fan, I just need to know, what do I need to know about the team?
What do you need to know about the team, Matthew? That's a big question.
Yeah,
so you're telling me, Matthew, you're in Oakland.
My new love for the Padres. I already got my Ricky Henderson jersey.
Okay, so you're in Oakland. You were an A's fan, and because the A's are now no longer there, you have converted to the Padres. That's what you're telling me.
That's right. Unfortunately, we were a victim of greed, as you know. But hey, hoping for a better experience this time around. And there is nothing like the Oakland Coliseum, but maybe take a shot at Petco Park as well with my young son.
Okay, Matthew, have you been down here to Petco Park yet?
You know, as a matter of fact, I am a UCSD alumni. Unfortunately, couldn't pull it off against the Michigan, but what are you going to do? But one trip to Petco and hoping to have more in the future.
All right. Well, that's the first thing you got to do. You got to get down here, come to Petco. Place is sold out, buzzing every night. Matthew, I'll invite you because, look, we've got, thousands of listeners right now, diehard Padres fans listening, and I'm sure they would be happy to welcome you in with open arms. So if you have any social media, something like that, you want people to tweet at you or whatever, I'll give you the floor. If you want to give out your social media, you don't have to, no pressure, and welcome into the family if people want to let you know kind of what you need to know about Padres fandom.
Hey, we appreciate that. We'll keep the socials on hold for now, but maybe if we start a little fan club up here at the old Oakland Athletic Club. We'll take a couple of the bitter souls and we'll try to turn it around.
I got you.
We'll
okay, cool. Well,
Matthew,
Matthew, welcome into the Padres Radio Network. Listen anytime. Please call in anytime. Happy to have you on board. Okay.
Hey, appreciate it. Hey, and good to see a clean series too.
Absolutely. Very, very clean baseball. Great brand of baseball. Great series for the Padres. All right. We come back to San Diego now after we talk with the converted A's fan, Matthew in Oakland. Let's go to Chula Vista. It's Eric. Eric, you're on the Padres Radio Network. Go ahead.
How we doing, Sam? How we doing,
What's up, Eric?
Friar Faithful? Hey, Sam. Hey, how about that first series for the Padres? Not only did we play extremely well, but the Padres won some games. Secondly, 2 straight quality starts for the Padres rotation. Huge boost of confidence for the team, not to mention their bullpen, the stellar performance that they put on. And then we haven't even touched on the Padres bats. So, the pitching is leading the way. So it's going to be exciting to see the Padres bats be the talk of the series whenever that comes about. And then I'll end it with this. Keep Tatis at the top of the order. He is a huge changer. Thank you for the call.
Eric, good phone call. Appreciate it. Number of things to chew on there that you brought up. Let's start with the pitching. Pavetta, obviously, tremendous today. And we touched on it plenty on the postgame yesterday. But Randy Vasquez doing what he did yesterday to give the Padres 6 innings, regardless of how many runs he gave up. If he would have went out there and just given you 6 innings regardless, you would have loved it because you had a really short-handed bullpen. You had no Adam, you had no Suarez, you had no Estrada, who had all pitched back-to-back days. And not only did Randy Vasquez go out there and give you 6 innings, they were 6 shutout innings in a scoreless game and allowed the Padres to score a single run in the bottom half of the 7th and win the game 1-0. He was tremendous yesterday by what he did, the results, but also by just giving you length and being able to get through that game without having to tax your bullpen even further. And it was tremendous yesterday what Randy did. And that's what you love about this series. All the games were a little bit different, right? They have the big 7th inning on opening day. They have the Cronenworth home run on Friday night. Big swing, rising to the moment, a 1-0 win. Vasquez is great. Bullpen is awesome again. Timely hitting. Mike Shildt, who, let's be honest, Mike Shildt had a terrific series to open the year. You want to talk about pushing the right buttons, and it started with getting Fernando in the leadoff spot these 4 games, and I'll tie it into the other point you made, Eric, about Fernando in the leadoff spot. I mean, he was tremendous there. A double, little check swing double, excuse me, double. Okay, he'll take it in the first inning. Meanwhile, comes in to score. Walk in the 7th inning, ends up coming in to score. RBI single in the 8th inning, extends the lead to 5-0, and he just had a super, super big impact on this series. And yesterday, aside from the Gurriel RBI single, you could argue he made maybe the play of the game by batting down that potential home run ball off the bat of Matt Olson yesterday. I mean, that was one of, if not the play of the game yesterday. If that ball goes out and the Braves take a 1-0 lead, who knows how that game ultimately goes. So Fernando had a great series. Putting him at the leadoff spot, I think, has been the right decision. I know it's been a very slow start for Luis Arraez. I can't imagine that him not hitting leadoff has much to do with it. I said this in the pregame. I'll say it again. Luis started last year 0 for 13 and would still go on to win a 3rd consecutive batting title. And he also did it later in the year with a torn ligament in his thumb. Padres fans, I would not worry about Luis Arraez. He's had a bit of a rough start to the year. You don't see him go 0 for like this very often in a 4-game span. I have a feeling Luis Arraez will be A-okay. And to Mike Shildt's point after the game, if there is one guy that you don't worry about it with, it's Luis, right? Because he's had the track record of just being an elite average hitter. So I would not worry about it with Luis Arraez. But Fernando's been great in the leadoff spot, and you can't say enough about the way they played over the course of this weekend. You just can't. It was, not perfect, but pretty darn close with the way they won these games. Let's go to Tyler calling in from Oceanside. Tyler, you're on the Padres Radio Network. What's up?
Yeah, Sammy, how you going?
Doing well.
Hey, just want to say, first off, congratulations on your pre and post game. We're big fans, and you deserve it absolutely 100%. The other one is just let's go Padres. I mean, with what we've got right now, Shildt, Sheets, Tatis, Pavetta, Musgrove, even in the bullpen or in the crowd, in the dugout, still working with all the boys. This is gonna be the team. We got this. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, good call. I'm with you all the way around. Joe's a great presence. He's been around a lot. He's certainly been very involved, which has been great to see. And look, you assume that Michael King and Dylan Cease, despite a rocky couple of outings to begin their years, you assume those guys are going to be A-okay. I would assume that. If Nick Pavetta is going to be this guy, I mean, to me, it really changes so much about this rotation. Because then if King can get it going, Cease can get it going, if Pavetta, not that he's going to throw 7 shutty, every single night, or every single start, I should say. You think about it, then you can get Yu Darvish back, and Yu is working his way back, playing catch. No timetable yet on his return, but he's working his way back and continues to throw. You start thinking about it, this could be, and we thought this could be the case coming into the year, this could be a really, really, really good rotation of 4 that you really like, that you love. And King, Cease, Pavetta, if he's going to pitch the way he did today, and Yu Darvish when he comes back. And then the 5th spot, we'll see how it all shakes out when Yu's back, right? Randy Vasquez was excellent yesterday. We're going to get our first look at Kyle Hart tomorrow, who had a really promising spring. And I think the Padres believe can get outs at the major league level. We'll see, but there is potential for this rotation to be very, very, very solid. Really is. Let's go to Robbie in Ventura. Robbie, you're on the Padres Radio Network. How are you?
Yes, sir. Listen, I'm so stoked on Pavetta. I'm so stoked on the wins. But, oh, man, I'm going to tell you, Sammy, I'm a little sad. I missed the Profar smile. When I saw him smile during the game, it made me sad. I love that guy so much. And so everyone stole everything I was about to say, but I just missed Profar. Oh, man. So anyway, I'll take your comments off there. Thank you, Sammy. You're the best.
You got it, Robbie. Look, Jurickson, I miss him too. I mean, he's a great presence in the clubhouse. He's got, the $1 million smile. you saw this weekend, it reminded you, not that he did anything that was, super, super, super impactful, but really nobody on the Braves offensively did it all. But he puts together a really nice at-bat, grinds out those ABs. I mean, he was doing that again. Now, look, we're going to see over the course of the year if Profar is going to have, close to the year that he had last year, really anywhere close. I mean, that's the question with Pro. For as great as he was last year, can he do it again after signing a much bigger contract with Atlanta? But look, Profar means a lot to the Padres, to what they've been the last few years. Obviously, he is very, very close with the guys in that clubhouse, and you wish him the best. You don't wish him the best when he plays the Padres, but you wish him the best. And look, he's a guy who obviously is very, very close to a lot of guys in that Padres clubhouse. Let's squeeze in one more call. We go to Ocean Beach. It's Gonzo. Gonzo, you're on the Padres radio network. Go ahead.
Sammy, my boy.
Hey.
Another season, buddy. Not much
right.
to say other than I know you're going to hit us with the stats. Hello to all the Doomers out there. What up to the chat fam? What up to the Levitators? What up to the Kluge, though? Totally rocking that Padre jersey.
That's right.
Amazing. And
that's right, Gonzo. Yeah.
Dude, that's a great photo.
That is a good photo.
I'm very proud of him.
Of our program director, Adam Klug. Gonzo, appreciate the phone call. Yes, our brand manager, our program director, Adam Klug, was here earlier today. I saw Adam earlier today. He had a custom Klug jersey on, Padres jersey, and also had a Padres cap on. Now, the thing to know about Adam grew up in Atlanta. I think he's very open about this. Braves fan growing up, but now works in San Diego, has been here for a long time, runs the #1 sports station in the city at 97.3 The Fan. And so he's got the Braves here, he's got the Padres here, but Adam, to his credit, walked in today, full Padres gear, hat on, Padre jersey on, and he sent out a tweet with the outfit. So good for Adam. Great to see Adam today. Adam is always doing a great job for our station. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, we still have a lot to do. We'll take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll hear our play of the game. We'll replay my interview with Jackson Merrill from right after the game one more time in case you missed it. And we'll give you some final thoughts from this ball game, from this 4-game sweep of the Atlanta Braves. And we'll also get you ready for the series opener tomorrow against the Cleveland Guardians. This is the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show on the Padres Radio Network. On our Padres radio network, Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Great to have you with us. If you're just tuning in, maybe on the way back from the ball game, 41,000 plus in the building today. I know when we have national TV games that we often have people that don't typically tune into our post-game coverage here on the radio side of things. They tune in because there is no TV post-game and we're the only show in town. So if you are one of those people, either listening on the radio or watching on YouTube, or maybe you're listening on the Odyssey app, number one, welcome. And number two, I hope you'll join us again sometime soon on the pre and post radio side of things. And of course, you have the great Jesse and Tony during the game as well. We'll have our play of the game coming up in just a little bit. We'll also revisit my conversation with Jackson Merrill on the field right after the game. But first, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Everything has gone final around the major leagues on this Sunday evening. We begin in the Bronx. The Yankees beat the Brewers 12-3. The Yankees sweeping the Brew Crew in a 3-game series at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees and their torpedo bats. A lot of home runs in that series. Good weekend for the Yanks. Nationals beat the Phillies 5-1 in D.C. Josh Bell, a 3-run home run in that one for the Nationals. Blue Jays beat the Orioles 3-1 in Toronto. Tyler Heineman, a solo home run in that game for the Blue Jays. Rays beat the Rockies 6-4 in Tampa. Marlins walked off the Pirates again. They beat them 3-2. A walk-off in the bottom half of the 9th inning for Miami. In fact, all 3 wins for the Marlins in that series. They won 3 out of 4 from Pittsburgh to begin the year. All 3 came on walk-off hits. Pretty remarkable. And, actually, let me correct that. The one today was actually a walk-off wild pitch. David Bednar, Pirates closer, through a wild pitch, run came in. So actually 2 walk-off hits and then a walk-off wild pitch. But 3 walk-off wins for the Marlins already. Giants beat the Reds 6-3 in Cincinnati. Angels beat the White Sox 3-2 in Chicago earlier today. Guardians beat the Royals 6-2 in Kansas City. Kyle Manzardo, a 2-run home run for Cleveland in that one. Cardinals beat the Twins 9-2 in St. Louis. Pedro Pajes, a 3-run home run in that one for St. Louis. Rangers beat the Red Sox 3-2 in Arlington. Adolis Garcia, a home run in that game for Texas. Jacob deGrom went 5 scoreless innings in his season debut. Diamondbacks beat up on the Cubs 10-6. The D-backs had an 8-run 8th inning in that game. Mariners beat the A's 2-1 in Seattle. Julio Rodriguez, his first home run of the season in that Mariners win. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. If you want to squeeze another phone call in, you can at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 if you want to chime in before we head off the air tonight after this 5-0 Padres win over the Atlanta Braves in a 4-game sweep of the Braves to begin the season. Let's hear today's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Here's the 2-0. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Pretty well struck. Profar back to the gap. Not going to get there. Looks up, bangs off the wall. Hernando rounding third. He's going to come in and score. Jackson Merrill has provided some insurance. An RBI double in the 7th, and the Padres lead it 3-0.
Jackson Merrill, RBI double to left center, made it 3-0, like Jesse described beautifully. That was our play of the game. Jackson Merrill with 5 RBIs in this opening 4-game series, and another very good start to the season for the 21-year-old Jackson Merrill. So that RBI double, our play of the game. Padres would score 2 more in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Brandon Lockridge, a really nice moment. Pinch hit RBI double. Later in the game in the 8th, actually he pinch hit earlier in the game. That was his second plate appearance in the 8th inning. RBI double to make it 4-0, and then Fernando Tatis Jr. hit an RBI single to make it 5-0 Padres in the 8th inning. Plenty of breathing room for Jeremiah Estrada, who pitched a 1-2-3 9th inning, struck out the side in that 9th inning. Before we hear from Jackson Merrill, revisit my conversation with Jackson from right after the game. Let's just run down quickly offensively what this opening series looked like for a number of guys, because there really were some very impressive performances. Let's start with this. Out of the catching position, for all the angst and doubters about the catching position offensively, to be exact, I mean, you got to give Elias Diaz and Martin Maldonado some credit. They went a combined 5 for 13 in this series. 5 for 13 in this series. Very productive offensively. Now, will it last? You certainly hope so. But you got to give those guys a lot of credit. Diaz and Maldonado went a combined 5 for 13 in the opening 4 games of this series. And I thought Maldonado did a great job yesterday. They talked about it after the game. The way he worked with Randy Vasquez, they did a really nice job. And I thought defensively, for the most part, did a good job as well. So Diaz and Maldonado deserve some credit. They had a really nice opening series, the two of them. Fernando Tatis Jr., 7 for 15. That's a .467 average, a home run, 2 RBIs, 5 runs scored. Had a stolen base today. That's now 3 stolen bases on the year. Fernando. Jackson Merrill, 6 for 13. That's .462. 5 RBIs, a double. He really had a big impact. Gavin Sheets had a nice day. Sheets had 2 singles in this game, so he continues to swing the bat well. 4 for 11, obviously had the big pinch hit home run on opening day. Brandon Lockridge, has a base hit, RBI double. Good to see with him. Manny had his moments. Yuli Gurriel has the RBI single. Xander Bogaerts had another double RBI today. Good to see him hitting for extra bases quite a bit. So you really look up and down here. Really nice offensive series for the Padres. And again, Luis Ariz is the one guy that, you look at and scratch your head a little bit. He's 0 for 13 to begin the year, but I made the point earlier that Luis went 0 for 13 last year to begin the year, and he ended up doing just fine and winning a 3rd consecutive batting title. So I wouldn't worry too much about him. And again, you cannot tell the story of this series without mentioning the Padres bullpen. 16 combined innings, 1 run given up. And the last 15 consecutive innings have been scoreless. So they were a huge part of this series sweep. And if their bullpen's going to perform like that, it's going to be a very, very good thing for this team. The bullpen in 2025 in modern baseball, as we all know, so critically important. And the Padres not only have a talented bullpen, but they got a deep bullpen. And I thought the depth of this bullpen really shined at points of this series. Really, really did. So great stuff from the bullpen. Padres committed just 1 error in this series combined. It was on kind of a very routine ground ball throw by Xander Bogaerts. That was not a good throw in the 9th inning of, I think it was Friday's game, if I'm not mistaken, without going back and looking. It was either Thursday or Friday. And, hey, there's very clean baseball, smart baseball all the way around, and the Padres sweep this 4-game series from Atlanta. Jackson Merrill had the RBI double in the 7th inning. Many big moments throughout this opening series. I caught up with Jackson on the field right after tonight's win.
Jackson, let's start with Nick Pavetta. What a Padres debut. You had a great vantage point of it in center. How'd Nick look to you?
He's locked in. He wasn't afraid of anybody. Going right at hitters. He wasn't scared. He wanted to throw that thing in there. He wanted to go as hard as possible, so I love it.
4 wins to begin the season, 4-0 for the first time since 1984. What was the key to sweeping the Braves this weekend?
I think last year, it just took us a little bit to get going. We wanted to hit the ground running this year. I don't think we had to sweep until June, and to come out and get that number 1 around the first week, it feels special.
For you offensively, a bunch of hits, 5 RBIs. How would you characterize what you did offensively this weekend?
Just playing my game. I'm playing to help the team, trying to get on base as much as possible. When it comes to time to show power, we're trying to show power, but all around, good team win this weekend.
Today, another good example. Offensively, you moved the line, you string hits together. What do you feel like you guys did well as a group offensively?
You watch our ABs, they're gritty, man. They're not really short. We want to get in there. Sometimes I swing early. That's just me. It's my approach. But the whole team's in there grinding out ABs, trying to get as many pitches on as possible. You see the starter gets out early in the game, we get to the bullpen, that's what we're trying to do.
You have a lot of fun playing in front of these fans again?
Oh, yeah. So fortunate, so fortunate.
Jackson, great job this weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you.
That was Jackson Merrill right after the game and right after this 4-game sweep of the Atlanta Braves. 4 consecutive sellouts here at Petco Park to begin the season. So not only on the field were things great, but in the stands, things great as well. Great job by Padres fans showing up all weekend long. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show, you can go back and listen to any or all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast feed, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube page and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow as the Padres begin their second series of 2025. They welcome in the Cleveland Guardians for the first game of a 3-game set. Guardians 2-1 on this young season coming in. Tomorrow, first pitch at 6:40. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show will begin at 5:40. Left-hander Kyle Hart will make his Padres debut. We will hear from Kyle on our pregame coverage tomorrow, so tune in for that. And right-hander Luis L. Ortiz will take the mound for Cleveland. Again, Kyle Hart on the mound for San Diego. Ortiz on the mound for Cleveland. First pitch at 6:40, and our pregame coverage right here on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network begins at 5:40. Taking a look at the final totals in the final game of this 4-game set as the Padres sweep the Atlanta Braves. For the Padres, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left on 8. For the Braves, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They did not leave anybody on base in this game. Braves did not have a plate appearance with a runner in scoring position in this one. Winning pitcher, Nick Pavetta, who improves to 1-0. Losing pitcher, A.J. Smith-Shawver, who drops to 0-1. Time of game, a quick one, 2 hours and 21 minutes. And the crowd here at Petco Park, the 4th sellout already of 2025, 41,269. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 6:40. Pregame coverage begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Frank Marchese, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score in the series finale as the Padres sweep the Atlanta Braves, the San Diego Padres 5 and the Atlanta Braves 0. We'll talk to you tomorrow evening on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.